5:10. I wonder if anything important happens this day. Listen, all I'm going to say is the only reason I remember this date specifically is because of the fucking shitty joke I made in the first episode of adding 15.
いってらっしゃい。気をつけろよ。
Just like yesterday, I see Sora off. She was back to her usual self this morning, but I still found myself asking her again if there really wasn't anything wrong. Needless to say, she just brushed me off. I know she's worked up over something, but I'm still hesitant to push her on it. We're in such a complicated mess here that I can't afford to act rashly. But is it really being rash if all I'm doing is worrying about Sora? Would that really be putting things at risk? It's clear now why Sora has been so selective with what information she tells us. Yeah, Sophie. I don't know why I thought I said Sora. Maybe I did say Sora. The burden of knowledge can be a terrible thing. We end up paralyzed by our thoughts. We become too cautious, hesitating when we should be taking action. Man, what am I going to do? I head back to the living room and sit down on my bed. The one thing you can do is don't call Sophie. Not this time. Not today. For now, I should just focus on what I need to do. For whatever reason, my petrification has been healing more rapidly recently, and now my wrist and ankle are free. Meaning I can finally take what's left of these pants off. The only spot remaining is my petrified shoe. Maybe the petrification healed faster because I slept all day yesterday. I'm not sure. I wonder... I mean, like, it could also be that the inside of his hand and leg, his arm and leg healed first, and now his outer arm and leg are, and now the skin is healing, right? I don't know. But if I'm lucky, I'll be fully healed by tomorrow. I'll probably only need to call Mum once or twice more. I should be able to convince her not to come. I pick up my phone and call home.
もしもし、新見です。
ああ、母さん。かけるです。
ちょっとなんで名前言うのよ。人のネタ潰さないでよね。
母さんのネタしつこいんだよ。悪いけど、今日も学校に電話しといてくれるかな。
あんたまだ具合悪いの？
多分今日で治ると思う。
早く治しなさいよ。というか、そう。あなた言いなさいよ。
何を？
なんで彼女できたこと黙ってたの？
は？彼女？
昨日来たわよ。うちに。お見舞いにって。
うちって、そっちに？てか、誰が？
だから彼女よ。あんたの。
I was waiting for this to happen. In the back of my mind, I was waiting for Ghost to do some fucking shit with his parents, right? I swear to fucking God. Sure, I swear to fucking God. I hope it isn't. I hope it isn't Ghost.
いやいや、いないし、彼女なんて。
なんでそんな嘘つくの？
いや、本当にいねえし。
でも来たのよ、昨日。
名前は？
名前、なんだったかしらね。聞いたんだけど。
誰だよ。なんか怖いな。
There's no way it was Kujo. She has no reason to visit my parents' house, and she doesn't even know where it is. The same reasoning rules out Kosaka and Yuki. Ghost? No, if she was back, Sophie would have told me. I can't think of anyone else it would be. Anyone who'd come to my parents' house and call herself my girlfriend has to be a stalker, It gives me the creeps.
名前は思い出せないんだけど、あ、ほら、髪の毛、こうね、こうしてるの。
いや、見えないし、こうじゃわかんないし。
なんだか印象の薄い子だったわね。思い出せないわ。結んでたのよ、後ろ。横で？
結んでる？
そう、多分。きっと。
何時頃来たの？
何時かは忘れたけど、暗くなる前？
暗くなる前って。
Oh, well then.
空もいたでしょ？
ん？誰？
空だよ。
ああ、そう、空ちゃんよ、名前。
は？
あんたの彼女、空ちゃんよ。そうだったはず、多分。
What the fuck is going on?
いや、何言ってんの？その冗談は無理があるでしょ。
そっちこそ何言ってんのよ。可愛い彼女ね。印象薄いけど、いつから付き合ってるの？
本気で言ってる？
あら、本当に彼女じゃないの？ストーカー？
彼女でもストーカーでもない。
Because okay, when she brought up the ponytail, I could have only thought of Sora, right? But I'm like, surely she's not making a joke about Sora being Kakeru's girlfriend, right? I'm making the joke because it will happen eventually, but like, what the fuck is going on?
じゃあ何よ。
妹だよ。
ああ、そう。お兄ちゃんって言ってた。あなた彼女になんて呼ばせてるの？変な趣味ね。
いや、いいよ。学校に連絡お願いね。
はいはい。彼女のことちゃんと聞かせなさいよ。
いつかね。
I hang up and throw my phone onto the bed.
ソフィー。ソフィー!
And just when I just told him not to call out to her, I call out to her. Though it only takes a few seconds. It only takes her a few seconds to appear. It feels like ages, but by the time she arrives, I'm at my wit's end.
なに？切羽詰まった顔ね。
非常事態だ。
簡潔に話して。
母さんが空のことを忘れてる。
確かなの？
演技とは思えなかった。
そう。確かに非常事態ね。
存在が消えると記憶も消えるだったよな。
ええ。
Yeah. That's I don't know why I didn't put two and two together. It's not fucking it's not yeah, what am I saying? It's not Miyako's power that's doing this, because obviously he just explained why it wasn't Miyako. It's fucking Sora's power getting out of whack.
ゴーストじゃなく空にもその現象が起こっている。なぜだ？
Sophie didn't respond, but I already know the answer. There's only one thing that this could mean.
空の力が暴走してるってことだよな。
目に見える力じゃないから気づくのが遅れたわね。対抗力の弱い人間をそばに置いておくべきだった。もっとも気づいてもすぐには対処できないけれど。
霊薬ってやつすぐに用意できないのか？
無理よ。あと数日はかかる。
ストックとかないのかよ。前に使ったやつ。
前って1000年近く前のことよ。ないわよ、ストックなんて。
くそ。
アンブロシアが完成するまで空のことを認識し続ける。あなたにできることはそれだけよ。
それだけって。
But as I'm shouting that, I come to a realization. Sophie suggested keeping people with low impotence, in other words, people who aren't users, around Sora to see if her artifact was going haywire. Mom's already completely forgotten about Sora. In that case, what about Sora's classmates?
空は今どこにいる？
少し待って。
Sophie lands on the table and freezes. This is probably a weird way of explaining it, but it looks like it looks like all the power went out of her, like a soul leaving its vessel. Well, obviously, because the fucking plush doll is her vessel. She remains like that for a few moments.
お待たせ。
Sophie's body once again fills with life.
学校には向かっていないわね。いつもの道からそれている。
どこに向かっている？
わからないわよ、そんなの。土地勘がないんだもの。
通学路からどっちに向かったかだけ教えてくれ。
東。
東って言うと駅の逆方向か。なら
I get up and pull my shirt off.
そんな体で出かけるの？
ほっとけない。
石になった部分は隠しなさいよ。
分かってる。
I pull on my long sleeve shirt and stretch the cuffs out. And while it looks weird, I put a glove onto my right hand. As for my right foot, only one way to do this.
雑ね。
Sophie sighs as she watches me wrap my petrified shoe in packing tape. Fuck off. I don't have time to worry about how I look. Once I'm done, I toss aside the roll of tape and get to my feet. I need to find Sora as fast as possible.
空を追い続けてくれ。
してるわよ。北に進路を変えた。
分かった。ありがとう。
I stuff my left foot into a shoe and dash out the door. Sophie follows after me. I'm running as fast as I can, but my petrified foot seriously holds me back. Damn it. You can't even call this running. Fuck. Even though my ankle is free, the lack of feeling in my foot makes it hard to keep my balance. Worse, I'm risking putting too much pressure on the petrified foot. No, this isn't the time to be worrying about myself.
焦る必要はないわよ。すぐにあなたの記憶が消えることはないわよ。多分ね。
そうだったとしても妹が大変な状況なんだ。焦る理由は十分だろ。
あら、素敵なお兄さんね。空の監視に集中する。しばらく反応できないわよ。
頼む。
I watch Sophie vanish into a portal, then resume walking. I had an idea of where Sora might be headed. I go straight there. However... When I reach the shrine, she's nowhere to be seen. Judging by the direction she went, I thought for sure she was headed here. But now that I think about it, being forgotten by her friends and family must have been a huge shock to her. There's no way she'd willingly go anywhere. She might run into one of them. She's not here. So where is she?
公園よ。
Just then, Sophie rematerializes.
今ベンチに座った。また移動しないうちに捕まえた方がいいわよ。
ありがとう。
I start running and Sophie disappears. Again. It'd be nice if she could stick around to guide me, but now's not the time to be asking for more favors. More importantly, I need to hurry. I arrive at the park, gasping for breath, and scan the area. There's a group of small kids, their mothers watching over them. Makes sense. At this time, only parents with kids too young to be at school would be at the park. Which is why anyone wearing a school uniform would stick out like a sore thumb. The parents keep glancing nervously in a particular direction, and that's where I head. I find Sora huddled up on a bench, and plop down on the seat next to her.
こんなところでぼーっとしてると補導されるぞ。
Sora looks up, puzzled. The moment she sees me, she forces out a smile. But it's so stiff, it hurts to look.
やべえ、見つかっちゃった。なんか、今日学校行く気しなくてさ、サボろうかと。
Her voice grows quieter and quieter before trailing off. She realized I know. That's why I'm here after all. Her smile crumbles. She hangs her head, looking down at the ground with teary eyes. Finally, she starts to talk. She explains what's happening to her.
昨日、学校に行ったら、みんなに変な顔されて、 でも友達は普通に接してくれたから、その時はまだ気づいてなくて。でもお昼になったら一瞬誰って顔されて、冗談かなって思ったけど、そうじゃなかった。放課後になったら、私はみんなにとって知らない人になってた。やっと私の力のせいだって気がついた。
Her trembling voice grinds to a halt. Silence. But I know Sora is not done talking yet. I quietly wait for her to continue. I'll sit here until she can work up the courage to say what happened next.
もしかしてって思って家に帰ってみた。お母さんも私のことわからなくなってた。お兄ちゃんにも忘れられちゃったらって思ったら怖かった。でも覚えててくれて嬉しかった。すごくほっとした。
Finally, Sora turns to face me. Her eyes are filled with grief.
ねえ、私どうなっちゃったの？力なんて使ってないよ。なのになんでみんなから私が消えちゃってるの？お兄ちゃんの記憶からも。もうすぐ消えちゃうの？やだよ。そんなのやだよ。
Words are cheap. I've already believed that actions are how you really show your sincerity. But there's a time for words as well. And I think right now is one of those times. I reach out and pat Sora on the head. I swear to you, Sora, I won't let this become a lie.
俺は空のことを忘れないよ。帰ろう、うちに。
The moment we return home, Sora falls fast asleep. I explained about the medicine Sophie was making, and she looked incredibly relieved. She probably didn't sleep a wink last night. No wonder she conked out the moment we got back. I can't imagine the pain she went through, discovering that her friends, and even her parents, had forgotten all about her. It's incomprehensible. Damn.
かける？
Sophie calls out to me. I turn around and see her floating in the kitchen. I guess whatever this is about, she doesn't want Sora to overhear. I get up and hobble over.
空の様子は？
相当動揺してる。力の制御ができないみたいだ。
そうでしょうね。経験上、これから一気に崩れるわよ。もう猶予はあまりないわね。
For a second, it feels like my heart stopped. We're running out of time. I have to do something before it's too late.
薬はいつできるんだ？
あと2、3日ってところね。
2、3日。
急がせてはいるけれどどうにもならないわ。こればっかりは。
何か他にないのか？応急処置とか。
本人の気の持ちよう。強い意志。それだけよ。だからこそ、心が折れれば症状が一気に悪化する。
持つのか？3日も。
あなた次第。
俺にできることがあるんだな。
あるわよ。あなたにしかできないことが。もちろん。
教えてくれ。
特別なことじゃないわ。あなたが空の拠り所になっているのは間違いない。だから、今まで通りいいお兄さんでいてあげればいいのよ。支えてあげなさい。空が元気を取り戻せば、1週間でも2週間でも持つわよ。あくまでも、このままじゃダメってだけ。
そうか。2週間。よかった。
でも、
Sophie adds sternly as I breathe a sigh of relief.
安心するのは早いわよ。情緒不安定な人間を支えるのは とても難しい。話が支離滅裂になって会話自体が成立しなくなることだってある。逆に感情が乏しくなって外的刺激に全く反応を示さなくなることもある。気をつけなさい。空の心が折れれば消えてしまいたいとでも願ってしまったら、きっとあなたも空を忘れる。十二分に気をつけなさい。いつも叩いている憎まれ口、冗談のつもりでもそれだけでぽっきり言っちゃうかもしれないから。
わかった。ありがとう。気をつける。
あなた存外素直なのよね。本当に気をつけなさいね。時には嘘も必要よ。素直なだけじゃダメ。
ああ、わかった。
何かあったらすぐに呼びなさい。今回だけは怒らないであげるわ。もっとも力になれるかはわからないけれど。
わかった。ありがとう。
After I thank her, Sophie disappears. So everything is riding on Sora's feelings, and on whether or not I can support her. When Sora was telling me all that stuff about how I was a singularity, I didn't really get it. But now I'm painfully aware of what she meant. I have to weigh every action carefully, because even the smallest misstep could tear Sora away from me. I head back to the living room and sit down next to my bed. She is still fast asleep. From the looks of it, she didn't hear our conversation. There isn't much I can do for Sora. Just a couple things, really. Above all, keep my promise to her. And stay here beside her until she's finally free from the artifact's curse. The sun goes down, and day turns to night. When Sora woke up, she tried to act like her usual cheerful self, but she kept spacing out. It's obvious she's still feeling down. She didn't have much of an appetite either. She hardly ate anything for lunch or dinner. I wanted to do something for her, so I thought about calling over Kujo, Yuki, and Kosaka, since they likely still remember her, but I decided against it in the end. I settled for telling just Kujo about everything that's happened to Sora. She seemed truly worried, but I've got a nagging fear. The day after I was attacked by Ghost, I explained what happened to Kujo and Yuki. Back then, Kujo looked like she was having trouble putting her thoughts into words, and she trailed off more than once. She said she was just spacing out, and I'm pretty sure that right after was when she said that we'd be fine for a little while since Sora had erased Ghost with her powers. I was only dimly aware of it at the time, but the timing of Kujo's pauses left an impression on me. Maybe I'm overthinking this, but what if Kujo was already starting to lose her memories of Sora? That would explain why she looked a little confused every time I mentioned her. I might be reading too much into it, but I can't deny the possibility. And if that's true, then I can't possibly let Kujo, Yuki, or Kosaka see Sora right now, especially not the other two, because they don't know her. They haven't been acquainted with her as long. What if they start forgetting Sora while they're talking to her? If they ask her who she is in the middle of a conversation, Sora might completely break down. I'm not confident I can support her through that. I know. Listen. I just think all bets are off when when his parents don't remember Sora, right? Because like you'd think that the parents would be the last to forget. Well, I guess the brother in this case, but you know, the family would be the last to forget, right? Sora might completely break down. I'm not confident I can support her through that. I can't afford to take any risks right now. Every decision matters. I've got to make the right one.
お兄ちゃん
ん
I look up from the monitor and turn to Sora. She's lying on the bed playing with her phone.
もう動画終わってるよ。
ああ。
To be honest, I wasn't paying any attention at all to what I was watching. It turns out that not only have the credits rolled, I've even gotten the recommended for you pop-up with a bunch of similar looking stuff.
面白かった？
ああ。まあまあ。
嘘。見てなかったでしょ。
バレたか。
考え事？
まあな。
当てようか。私のことでしょ。
正解。
For some reason, that elicits a smile out of her, and she rolls over to my side.
嬉しい。
何が？
お兄ちゃんが私のこと考えてくれて。
そりゃ考えるだろう。非常事態だし。
頭の中が私でいっぱいになってるのが嬉しい。ドキッとした。
I'm about to say like hell, but I catch myself. It feels weird having to watch what I say around Sora. Our usual patter won't work. What do I even say? Sora snickers and gently pats my head. Guess she figured me out already.
いつも通りにしてよね。調子狂っちゃう。心配してもらえるのは嬉しいけどね。
今は優しいお兄ちゃんキャンペーン中なんだよ。甘えとけ。
どこまで甘えていいの？
常識の範囲内で。
じゃあ。
Sora draws even closer and wraps her arms around me.
あのね。
ああ。
キスして。
は？
Sora says nothing more. Her warm breath tickles my ear. Something's different. Normally, Sora wouldn't be able to keep a straight face saying something like that. And that wasn't her normal joking tone. Emotional instability, confusion. Sophie's warning flashes through the back of my mind. Don't tell me Sora's serious. Holy shit.
おい、そら。
She brings her lips closer, her breath tickling my cheek.
そら。そら。
Her face is millimeters from mine now. Just before her lips touch my cheek, she smiles impishly and pulls away.
お兄ちゃん、こういうのはうまく返せないんだね。
Sheesh. She was just teasing me. God, I can't believe I seriously thought she was coming onto me. I blush and look away.
だっせー。さすが童貞。
うるせえよ。お前だって少女だろ。
そうですよ。お兄ちゃんのために取ってあるの。
お前な。
超だっせー。動揺してる。
してねえよ、アホ。
してるじゃん。ドキドキしてるでしょ？
してない。
私はしてるよ。わあ、マジか。こんなに効くとは。
うるせえ。もう寝ろ。
まだ眠くないもん。
俺は眠い。眠くなくても寝ろ。
寝るのが怖い。
約束したろ。起きたらちゃんとおはようってお前に言うよ。いつも通り。
うん。
心配ないからしっかり眠れ。今日は疲れたろ。
お兄ちゃん。
ああ。
大好き。
もう照れないぞ。
今のは冗談じゃないよ。
Sora hugs me from behind again and rests her forehead against me. We stay like that for a while, until finally Sora gets off the bed.
歯磨いてくる。
ああ。
Sora walks into the bathroom and closes the door behind her. I love you, Oni-chan. Sora used to say that a dozen times a day when we were kids. It always made me happy, and back then I'd always reply with an I love you too. But around the time I started middle school, when Sora was close to graduating elementary, I started getting embarrassed so I told her to knock it off. After that, she started telling me she loved me less and less, started acting less clingy too. And nowadays we banter all the time, always trying to take each other down a peg. We hardly ever say something so sappy to each other. The fact that Sora has started reverting to her younger self, the fact that she's exclusively calling me Oni-chan now is not a good omen. I have to protect her. As Sora's older brother, I need to support her. It's why I'm here. I've reaffirmed my resolve. I spent a little while reminiscing about the old days together. In kindergarten and elementary school, Sora was so attached to me that she'd try to follow me to my classes. The night before my field trip, she threw a tantrum because she wanted to go with me. The next morning, she sobbed the whole time she was seeing me off. It was only around the time she started high school that she stopped being quite so needy, and we built up our new rapport of teasing each other. She blossomed as a person. She opened up more, started smiling and yelling, both around other people. Of course, she's still a little spoiled. Even now, she's got me wrapped around her little finger. No matter what kind of creepy stunt Sora pulled, I was always the one Mum and Dad yelled at. She's still got a habit of being quick to apologize, and then just as quick to forget what got her into hot water in the first place. Despite that, it's only with her family that she'll repeat her mistakes. Surprisingly, when she's with her friends, she has her act together. I know I've seen her out there at the sports festivals and cultural festivals, you name it. But in elementary and middle school, all of her classmates and friends really relied on her. In fact, I'm honestly kind of amazed how different she is when she's with her friends than when she's with her family. Good. I still remember it all. I haven't forgotten anything. I won't ever let myself forget. That's why I'm Sora's older brother. $5.11.
もしもし、母さん。
どなたですか？
ほんとそれいいから。かけるだよ。
はい。
かけるです。あなたの息子です。
ああ、はいはい。息子か。
母さんハマるとしつこいんだよな。悪いけど、今日も学校に連絡してください。
まだ治らないの？ずいぶんと長いわね。
ちょっとね。連絡お願いね。
はいはい。お大事にね。
That's today's business taken care of. 3 days of school missed. I shudder to think how behind I'll be on homework when I return, but I'll just have to live with it.
咳か。治ってよかったね。
ん？ああ、だな。
I curl my right hand into a fist and roll my right ankle around. When I woke up this morning, the petrification had completely vanished. I can move my fingers, and more importantly, I can feel each of my I can finally take my shoe off. I wonder if my burning desire to protect Sora accelerated the healing process. Since artifacts are manifestations of a soul's power or whatever, I suppose that's an actual possibility. I've kind of linked it to one's emotional state, but I guess soul would also work. I'd be fine to go to school today, but there's no way I'm leaving Sora alone. Hence why I'm calling in sick for a few more days. Until Sophie completes her medicine and frees Sora from her artifact, I'm not leaving her side.
なんか学校休んだ日ってちょっとワクワクするね。しかもお兄ちゃんと一緒に悪いことしてる気分。
俺はもう3日目のプロだからな。罪悪感ゼロだ。
すげえ。みやこ先輩に伝えた？治ったって。
ああ、そっか。授業始まる前に伝えとくか。
私の心配もしてくれてるかな。
当然だろ。
そうだね。
I couldn't miss that hesitation. Shit, I screwed up. Kuja's messaged me a bunch of times in the past few days about how I've been doing and all that. But the only time she's mentioned Sora is when I brought her up. I'm guessing she hasn't texted Sora directly at all. Or more accurately, she's incapable of it. From the looks of it, Kujo can no longer recall Sora unless someone else reminds her of Sora's existence. Her memories are growing hazy as well. Sora obviously picked up on that.
今日はどうする？
In an attempt to cover for my blunder, I changed the topic. Sora tilts her head quizzically.
どうするって？
せっかく石化が解除されたから、俺は出かけたい。
出かけるって大丈夫なの？
体は問題ない。
そうじゃなくて、こんな時間にうろついて、私はともかくお兄ちゃんはまずいでしょ。
大丈夫だろう。制服でもない限り。どっか行こうぜ。どこがいい？
どこでもいいの？
近場なら。
近場。あ、カラオケ！
いいな。行くか。
やったー！お兄ちゃんとカラオケ行くの初めてじゃない？
何度もあるだろ。
二人きりは初めてだよ。あ、映画も見ようよ、映
今何やってるっけ？
画！わかんないけど、なんか適当に良さげなやつ。
じゃあ、カラオケと映画のコンボ決めるか。
やったー！お兄ちゃんとデ
デートって。映画の時間とか調べておいてくれ。顔洗ってくる。
ート！わかった！
Sora picks up her phone and starts happily tapping away. But a few seconds later, her expression clouds over.
どうした？
パソコン使っていい？映画館のサイトが見にくい。
いいよ。
あざーす。
She throws her phone onto my bed and wakes up my PC. I give her one last sidelong glance before heading to the bathroom. I turn the faucet and water gushes out of the tap. Oh. Yeah. I can't help fretting about that sudden change of expression either. But mostly I'm just glad she's happy right now. Hopefully this little sibling outing ends up being fun enough that she can forget about her worries for a while. We waited until classes... we waited till classes should have started before leaving the house, then head to the arcade by the station. Personally, I worried we might run into a student running late or a teacher on patrol, but it seems there's something else weighing on Sora's mind. She keeps shooting me worried glances while we walk.
ねえお兄ちゃん、
ん？
足大丈夫なの？我慢してない？
してない。綺麗さっぱり治った。元通り。
よかったね。副作用とか後遺症とかなくて。
本当にな。あと欠けたり折れたりしなくてほんとよかった。ぶつけたりしないようにめっちゃ神経使った。
でも痛くない？
全然。
本当に？まだ指先とか石になってたりしないよね？
大丈夫だって。
見せてよ。
ほら。
I hold out my right hand and display my fingers. She stares at it for a few seconds, then puts her palm on top of mine. Then she entwines her fingers with mine and squeezes tight.
へへ。
She beams up at me. This sure is how a boyfriend and girlfriend holds hands. Normally I'd shake her off and throw a few caustic remarks her way, but whatever. It's just holding hands. I don't really mind doing it for her. Great. Now I'm more worried about someone seeing me holding hands with my sister than I am about someone finding out I'm skipping school. But I have to keep my embarrassment in check. Letting Sora do what she wants is important.
お兄ちゃんが優しい。いつも優しいといいのにな。
キャンペーン中限定だ。
なんなのそのキャンペーンって。
看病と家事してくれたお礼キャンペーン。期限が過ぎれば元の俺に戻る。
キャンペーンは私が治るまで？
だな、多分。
じゃあ治らなくてもいいな。
冗談でもよせよ。そういうこと言うのは。
だって他の人に忘れられてもお兄ちゃんが覚えててくれればそれでいいし。
You gotta stop raising death flags, okay, Sora? Smiling, Sora starts swinging her hand back and forth. That didn't sound like a joke to me. Well, if all she wants is to maintain the status quo, That's probably not enough to worsen her symptoms. Well, that's probably not the best mindset to have for the sake of her recovery. It's not the worst either. When we arrive at the station, Sora tugs at my hand. On my hand.
どうした？
コンビニ行きたい。
ああ、いいよ。
ここで待ってて。
ああ、わかった。
行ってきます。
Sora lets go of my hand and trots over to the convenience store. She turns and waves to me as she pushes open the door, then hurries inside. Now I'm starting to worry again. Why'd she want to go in alone? Why didn't she ask me if I wanted anything? Normally she would. Besides, the karaoke place doesn't allow any outside food or drink, so what does she even want to buy? None of these are significant enough on their own to warrant notice. Sora's so random I could probably just chalk this up to her acting on a whim, like she often does. But right now, every little thing puts me on edge. I've definitely been overprotective. Maybe Sora caught on to that, and that's part of why she wanted to go in alone. I'm trying to act natural while still being cautious, but it's not going very well. Striking the right balance is hard. Sora pops out of the store while I'm sighing at how pathetic I am. She jogs over to me, a smile on her face.
お待たせしやした。
何も買わなかったのか？
欲しいのなかった。
違うコンビニ行くか？
いい。もういい。
そっか。
行こう。
She takes my hand and starts walking. She doesn't feel like getting anything anymore. So even though she didn't buy anything, she satisfied whatever desire she had. You know what? I ought to just drop this. If I try to read into everything she says or does, I'll just spend the entire day brooding. I should just enjoy myself. That's why we're having this outing in the first place. And so we arrive at round 2. This place is everything. It's always packed after school, but at this hour the place is practically deserted. It's still far from quiet, but the lack of customers gives the place a more relaxing feel than usual.
9時とか10時とかから開くイメージだったけど、こんな早くからやってるんだね。
不良だな。学校サボってラウンド2。
不良デビューだ。お父さん泣きそうだな。
黙ってりゃいいんだ。黙ってりゃ。
そうしよう。ねえねえ、ちょっと遊んでこうよ。映画までもうちょっと時間あるし。
先にカラオケだと思ってた。
時間に追われながら歌いたくないもん。
一理ある。遊んでくか。
よし、じゃあ別行動。
え？別？
ゲームは一人でじっくり遊びたいじゃん。10分したらここに集合ね。
Sora dashes off to the arcade without waiting for my reply. First the convenience store, now this. For how happy she was to be going out together, she sure wants an awful lot of alone time. I guess in a way that's just like her, but I fold my arms and think, if she wants to be left alone, I'm more than happy to do that. But to be honest, I'm not in the mood for arcade games, and while it's not like I have a particularly bad feeling about this or anything, I'm still a little worried about leaving Sora alone. My instincts are warning me that I can't leave Sora's side, no matter for how short a time. I make my decision and walk into the arcade as well. Time to search for Sora. If she's absorbed in the game, then that's fine. I'll just keep an eye on her. If she complains about how I'm not playing anything, I'll just give her some excuse about how I don't want to waste my allowance, or how I have more fun watching them playing. It doesn't take me long to find her. She's playing the arcade version of one of those games where you control anthropomorphized battleships. Anthropomorphized battleships? Or planes or something. She's completely focused on the cabinet, manipulating the touchscreen with a serious look on her face. Now that I think about it, She sure is into a lot of different games, different genres. Intrigued, I walk over to get a closer look at the game. I was dreading this. I was waiting for this. But halfway there, I stopped. For a second, I completely forgot what I was doing. I squeezed my eyes shut and checked my head. When I opened my eyes again, I saw her standing there just like before. I lost sight of her. I was looking at her the whole time. She was right there in front of me. But there was a moment when I couldn't see Sora. I'm shocked. Nausea wells up within me, and I feel the blood draining from my face. I reflexively cover my mouth and take a few steps back. Sora's symptoms are worsening. She's not maintaining her current level of non-existence. And the erosion of her stigma is progressing. I swore I'd never forget her, but just now, for the briefest of instants, I forgot about Sora. A wave of dread washes over me. Oh, don't worry, this wave of dread has been washed over. I've been feeling this wave of dread since the fucking last recording session, so you know. I can't leave Sora alone. No, that's not strong enough. I have to stay by her side at all times.
Sora!
When I call out to her, Sora looks away from the screen and gets up from the arcade stool.
あれ、いいのか？まだ終わってないだろ
なんか思ったのと違った。
う。そっか。
それにお兄ちゃんが寂しそうにしてるし。
してねえよ。
ずっとこっち見てたじゃん。寂しそうに。
気づいてたのかよ。いや、見てたけどさ。
続きやっていいよ、気になるなら。
いや、いいよ。そこまでじゃない。
じゃあ映画館行こっか。
ああ。
やばい、平日満喫してる。罪悪感パネーゼ。
何の映画？
聞くの遅え。アニマルトピア。
あれか。CG の。
そうだけど、おじいちゃんみたいな表現やめてよね。んで、お昼食べた後にルナフォーマーズ。
2本立てかよ。っていうかなんでそれ選んだんだよ。ネットで評判見たぞ。
逆に見たくなった。ならない？
When I talked about what was happening in this game on stream, I predicted that Kakeru would slowly forget Sora, and then that's why she would disappear. But I just found I guess I was completely wrong about that. He isn't forgetting her. Well, he is, but more so, he's being forced to forget her because of her powers. Still, what would be the word? Growing more and more out of control. I guess.
わかるけどさ、順番逆にできない？先にルナフォーマーズ見ようぜ。
上映スケジュール的にこれがベストなの。ほら、行くよ。
Sora takes my hand, and we head to the movie theater. There's a smile on her face and a spring in her step. I don't want to bring her down, so I put a lid on the fear bubbling up within me and try to act normal. I can feel Sora's presence in the hand I'm holding. She's right here. Even if it starts to bother her, I won't let go. I'll hold on to this hand forever. I swear it. After watching both movies and singing our hearts out at karaoke, we head back home. We really lived it up today. Sora looks like she had a lot of fun. I know I did. However, after spending the whole day with Sora, I picked up on something. She tried to hide it, but I could tell. I know I'm not just overthinking things now. Sora's powers are out of control. Slowly but surely, they're eating away at her. Her symptoms are worsening even faster than I expected.
Sora.
She replies casually, her eyes glued to the manga she's reading on my bed. I spent ages figuring out how to broach the topic, but all my thoughts fly out the window the moment I say her name. I end up burying my feelings.
俺はそんなに頼りないか？
え？
話してくれ。我慢してることいっぱいあるだろ。
Sora closes her manga and turns to face me. He conjures up a stiff smile, but it crumbles instantly. She can tell from my expression that there's no fooling me. For a moment, she looks like she might cry. But she pushes the tears back. And then she forces out another smile.
ねえ、スマホ取って。
おう。
I pick Sora's phone up off the table and hand it to her. She pushes the power button and brings up the lock screen and shows it to me.
理屈とかはわからないけど、こういうスイッチとかは問題ないんだよね。押せばちゃんと反応してくれる。けど、
She taps the screen, types in her password. However, there's no change on the screen.
ね、反応してくれない。
故障じゃないのか？
I know that's not the problem, but I can't stop myself from asking. Sora just shakes her head.
ゲームでも確認してみた。ほら、こういうのって指以外で触っても反応してくれなかったりするじゃん。機械が私を認識できなくなってるのかもね。触っても何も反応してくれない。周りの人ももう私に気がつかない。昨日まではギリギリ認識はしてもらえてたのにね。存在感を常にゼロにされちゃってる感じ。声をかけてももう気づいてもらえない。
コンビニで確認してたの？それか？
うん。レジの前に立っても「すいません」って声をかけても返事してもらえなかった。私に気づいてもらえなかった。お兄ちゃんも途中で気づいてたでしょ。私の影がすごく薄くなってるの。
ああ。昼に頼んだ料理全部俺の前に並べられた時に。
だよね、気づくよね。自動ドアもお兄ちゃんと一緒じゃないと反応してくれなかったし。お兄ちゃん、私ごめん、なんでもない。弱音吐きそうになったけど言わない。
いいんだぞ、言っても。
大丈夫。そりゃ悲しいけどさ、お父さんにお母さんにクラスの友達にみやこ先輩にはるか先輩にあとゆうき先輩に。
Bro, this really is like fucking Isekai. Once I compared what was happening with Sora last stream. I compared what was happening with Sora to what happened to Kana at the end of Isekai, right? I didn't realize there was even more of a comparison because I thought at least I thought at least with some fucking shred of hope. Look, listen, I know this was inevitable, right? We all saw the start of the game, right? We all saw what happened at the start of the game, you know? But like, you know, at least I thought the way this would end up being is you know, Kakeru slowly starting to forget her. But no, in this instance, she's kind of being forced to be forgotten by everyone. In the same way Kana was forced to get taken away, right? No matter what Yuma tried to do, no matter how hard Yuma tried to save her, it didn't do fuck all, and she got spirited away, and I bawled my eyes out. I you know, I hope it doesn't happen again. Not the her disappearing. I know that's gonna happen. The, you know, crying.
知っている人が私のことわからなくなるのも、機械すら私を無視するのも悲しいけどさ。でもお兄ちゃんがいるもん。お兄ちゃんがいてくれるから私は大丈夫。このままみんなから忘れられちゃっても、お兄ちゃんがいれば私は幸せ。そんな顔しないでよね。嘘はついてないよ。お兄ちゃんがいれば私はいい。それでいい。
あとちょっとの我慢だ。薬さえできればそれで治る。
Sora gives me a small nod, and she whispers something under her breath. I heard it loud and clear, though. But I might not last that long. Pain lances through my chest, and my face twists in anguish. Sora hurriedly puts on a smile.
先にお風呂入るね。
ああ、
一緒に入る？
一人でゆっくり使ってこい。
Sora gives me a look of mock disappointment before sliding off my bed. She grabs her towel and pajamas and heads to the bathroom. She's vanishing from everyone's memories. Not even machines register her existence anymore. Could anything possibly be more isolating? In a way, it's the same as dying. But as long as I'm here, Sora can smile. And yet, I'm so worried. I'm terrified I might not end up being able to keep my promise to her, and the thought sends chills down my spine. Sora's out-of-control powers have even started taking their toll on me. My symptoms are just in their earliest phase, so I should be able to... I should be fine for a while longer. But if Sora realizes, if she figures out that my memories of her are growing dimmer, and that I'm losing track of her presence at times... Wait, what if she's already realized? I might have started spacing out without even realizing it, and Sora would have picked up on that. If I'm right about that, then maybe what Sora said is true. She might not last long enough to be cured. I have to do something. I need to make sure that even if I end up forgetting, Sora can still be saved.
Sophie.
I quietly call out to her. Just like she promised the last time I saw her, Sophie appears immediately. I hang my head and mumble softly, almost to myself.
時間がない。
あと2日待って。
2日も。
なんとか持たせて。こっちもギリギリなのよ。
一つだけ頼みがあるんだ。
ええ。
もし俺が空のことを忘れてしまったら、ソフィーが薬を空に飲ませてやってくれないか。俺にも症状が出始めた。ソフィーなら対抗力ってやつ俺よりも高いんだろ。だから頼む。もしもの時は空を頼む。
約束はできない。
どうして？
私は観測者。私の記憶は空の力でも消えない。けれど、空自身が消えてしまったらどうにもならないわ。
空が？
あのゴーストってこと同じ。行き着く先は存在の消滅。そうなってしまったらさすがに私でも無理よ。だから約束はできない。
そうか。いや、悪い。弱気になるべきじゃなかった。俺が踏ん張ればそれで済む話だよな。
I've been wondering, right, how Kakeru would be able to use his powers if he forgets about Sora's existence, right? Because, you know, in the first episode, he used his powers because his, you know, emotions went out of control when he saw Miyuki turned to stone and fucking destroyed, right? But with Sora, I can't think of how that would work out, right? But, well, I probably shouldn't be saying this when it's happening soon, but what I feel like is going to happen is Sora will disappear, but Kakeru won't forget her for like a brief moment, right? And in that brief moment, his powers will activate, I guess. I don't know, it's a shot in the dark.
弱気じゃなくて慎重なだけでしょ。最悪のケースを想定するのは当然。
Because it's like in this situation where there haven't been any hints of Kakeru forgetting anything about her, but he's being forced to forget at moments, right? So it might be the same thing that will happen when Sora disappears, and he'll trigger his relic artifact.
ただ、あなた少し参っているわね。悲観的かつ自虐的になっている。一番辛いのは空なんだから、あなたは兄らしくしっかりなさい。
そうだな。ありがとう。
まったく柄じゃないわね、こんなお説教。とにかくあと2日間なんとか持たせなさい。
ああ、やってみせる。
その意気よ。
Sophie gives me a kind smile before disappearing through her portal. 2 more days. If I can stay strong for 2 more days, Sora will be saved. How much longer will Sora reach until Sora reaches her absolute limit? No. Don't think about it. It doesn't matter.
お兄ちゃん大変だ、シャンプーがない。
待ってろ。
I get up and leave the living room. I pull a spare bottle of shampoo from the cupboard underneath the sink and set it outside the bathroom door.
ここ置いたぞ。
ありがとう。
Look, I know this is meant to be a moment, but you could have just not shown a face. You could have just not shown expression, like that's Sora's voice. She's still here. She's still right here. Because like it's not like he can see her through the glass through the door, right? So then it's like if you're going to express that she was disappeared for a moment there, then yeah, I just have to spend the next 2 days like I did this one. That's all. Five 5:12. I mean, even though we're both skipping school again, we wake up at the usual time in the morning. But since there's no need to rush, we take our time with breakfast. Halfway through my toast, I put my food down and pick up my phone. Now's a good time to call. How many days in a row will this make? It's getting kind of hard to keep up the I've got a cold act, but it's too late to change my story now.
お母さん、
ああ、欠席の連絡。
オレオレ詐欺ネタ毎回やるでしょ。
しつこいよな。オレオレ詐欺自体も話題になったのかなり前だろ。
飽きるまで続けるからね、お母さん。
先手を打って名前言うと拗ねるしな。今回も付き合うしかないな。
Grumbling, I press the call button. After 5 or 6 rings, Mom finally picks up.
はい、もしもし。
もしもし、俺だけど。
はい。
かけるです。かける。
どなたですか？
だからかけるだってば。悪いけど今日も。
間違い電話じゃありませんか？
いや、だから。今回しつこいな。間違えてないよ。オレオレ詐欺じゃないから。かけるです。あなたの息子の。
はい。
息子です、息子。
うちに息子なんていませんが。
は？
I was waiting. I was waiting before it stopped being a joke. She hung up on me. I thought she was just pushing the joke too far. I kept expecting her to laugh and say, "How'd you like my acting this time?" But she wasn't. She sounded legitimately annoyed. Yet, moreover, she didn't remember me. Don't tell me I'm starting to disappear myself. I'm starting to disappear as well. Is Sora erasing me with her?
お兄ちゃん。
Sora's voice snaps me out of my reverie. She's looking intently at her right hand.
おい、空。
どうしよう。お兄ちゃん。
Tears are forming in her eyes. Looking down, I see that her right hand has turned slightly translucent. In fact, as the seconds tick away, I watch as the view of the room of the room through her hand becomes ever more clear. She's vanishing before my eyes. Even the toast pinched between her fingers is turning transparent. Whether from sheer surprise or because her strength is fading, the toast slips from her fingers. But even after she lets go of it, the toast remains translucent. Sora's powers are going haywire. Everything she touches, everything she wears, everything in her general vicinity is being erased.
どうしよう。私。
空。
I run to her side. I clasp her fading hand between both of mine and squeeze tight.
消えちゃう。消えちゃうよ、お兄ちゃん。
大丈夫、大丈夫だ。気をしっかり持て。消えてたまるかって強く思うんだ。
でも。
いいか、俺を見ろ。空、俺を見ろ。
She looks up at me, face full of hesitation and doubt. Damn, now all of her is turning invisible.
空、俺が見えるか。俺がお前の手を握ってるの、わかるか。俺もわかるぞ。空の手をしっかりと握っている。俺の手の中に空の手を感じる。体温もしっかりと。いいか、お前はここにいる。消えちゃいない。このまま消えることもない。
私。
大丈夫だ。俺がしっかりと捕まえてる。だから消えない。俺がついてる。お兄ちゃんがついてるぞ。
お兄ちゃん。お兄ちゃん。
I take one hand away and throw it around her, pulling her close to me. She grips my shirt with her other hand. I lean into her ear and whisper over and over that she'll be okay. I'm beyond desperate right now. Fortunately, my desperation manages to serve as Sora's lifeline. Little by little, Sora's breathing calms down. Her fading outline solidifies once more. Crisis averted, I think. She's still here with me for now. What caused that sudden change? Why did her symptoms worsen so drastically just now? I frantically cast about for an explanation. However, regardless of what caused it, she's better now. Nonetheless, Sora's clearly at her limit. We have even less time than I thought. As long as I keep encouraging Sora like this, I want to believe that I can buy us more time. I have to keep supporting her for as long as it takes. I mean, I have to keep smiling. I have to be the strong older brother she can rely on.
頑張ったな、空。
I gently stroke her hair. Sora presses her forehead against mine and murmurs,
ごめんなさい。
何がごめんなさいかはわからないが、二度と謝ったりするなよ。空は俺の命の恩人だからな。今度は俺が助ける番だ。いや、違うな。兄貴だからな。妹を助けるのに理由なんか必要ない。いつも一緒だ。大丈夫。俺がついてる。
I pat her back. Sora clings to me for a while longer. After a few minutes, she finally rubs her eyes and breaks away.
ごめん。 がとう。
食べよう。
Sora nods, and after a moment of hesitation, I return to my seat. I feel like there's more I should have said to her. Are you alright? How are you feeling? Either would be a stupid question. She's obviously not alright. What more can I say? Sora picks up the piece of toast she dropped, but instead of eating it, she just puts it back on her plate. The toast too has gone back to normal. It's no longer transparent. But Sora doesn't want to eat something she nearly made disappear.
新しいのを焼いてくるか。
いらない。もういい。
そうか。
It's getting harder and harder to think of something to say. I watch Sora drink a glass of milk while I finish up my own piece of toast. While I'm chewing, I think. When it started, I was too panicked to think straight. But now that I'm reflecting on it, there can only be one reason Sora's condition worsened. She must have overheard my phone call. She knows what Mum said to me. She's in shock because she figured out that her powers are affecting me as well. And thus the abilities that she was just barely keeping in check suddenly went wild. I was careless. I can't help but beat myself up over my lack of foresight. If only I wasn't so damn stupid. I should have realized. Up until yesterday, Kuja texted me after school every day to check on me, and then yesterday she didn't. I should have paid more attention to that anomaly, and then maybe I would have realized Sora's powers were affecting me sooner. Or maybe I should have avoided calling Mom in front of Sora, just in case. Still, it's no use crying over spilled milk. I popped the last bit of toast into my mouth and crunched down on it hard, venting my frustrations on the hapless piece of bread before washing down the crumbs with a gulp of milk.
本当にもういいのか。
After a few seconds of silence, Sora nods.
そうか。
I stack up our plates and take them to the kitchen. I put them in the sink and hurry back to the living room. Sora staring at the floor vacantly, not moving a muscle. She was moments away from disappearing for good. I can't imagine how traumatizing an experience that must have been. But she survived it. She's still hanging in there, even now. I'm sure she can make it another day or two, somehow.
今日もどっか出かけるか。まだ見たい映画とかあるか。またカラオケ行くのもいいな。歌い足りないって言ってただろ。さすがに2日連続は疲れるか。今日は家でゆっくりするのもいいな。
お兄ちゃん。
Sora finally speaks. But it's not to answer my question. She picks up her phone, puts it down on the table, and pushes it toward me.
操作してもらってもいい？
ああ、いいよ。
Nodding, I reach for her phone. I know why she's asking. I don't know Sora's password, but I doubt I'll need to ask. I press the power button and tap the touch screen. No matter where I touch, there's no response. So it's happening to me too now. Funny. Just a few minutes ago I was fine. That scare must have pushed Sora's power to start affecting me more strongly.
ごめんね。
She whispers. She looks even more upset than she did when she was about to disappear.
私がお兄ちゃんだけいればいいって思っちゃったからだ。お兄ちゃんさえいてくれればってそう思っちゃったから。私お兄ちゃんを巻き添えにしちゃってる。
巻き添えなんてそんな言い方はよせ。多分空の負担を肩代わりしているんだ。きっとそういうことだ。もしかしたら俺のアーティファクトはそういう力なのかもな。お前の助けになれて俺は嬉しいよ。
I try my best to encourage Sora, but needless to say, she doesn't buy my pathetic excuse. Sora hangs her head in despair.
お兄ちゃんを巻き込ん じゃう前に私消えた方がいいね。
そら
I cry out, and I lean forward and take her by the shoulders. She watches me impassively. When did the spark go out of her eyes?
二度と言うな。そんなこと。
でもこのままじゃお兄ちゃんも消えちゃうから。
消えない。さっきも言ったろ。消えるもんかって強く思えば大丈夫だ。さっきも大丈夫だったろ。
でもわかるんだ。もう無理だよお兄ちゃん。私もう無理だ。
無理なんて言うな。無理じゃない。
But no matter what I say, Sora remains listless. It's like she's given up on everything. There's no emotion in her voice anymore. Sophie's words echo in my mind. She gave in. Her spirit is broken. I swore I'd save her. I swore I wouldn't let this happen, but in spite of everything, Sora's starting to wish for her own disappearance. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do?
どうすれば元気になってくれる。どうすればまた笑ってくれる。言ってくれ。どうすればいい。空は俺にどうしてほしい。お前が元気になってくれるなら、笑ってくれるなら、俺は何だってしてやるから。
なんでも。
Finally, Sora shows a little emotion. I can't let this chance slip past me. I need to fan the flame of her spirit back to life.
ああ、何でもだ、何でも。食べたいものがあれば買ってきてやるし、行きたいところがあれば連れてってやる。何でも言え。してほしいこと何でも。全部叶えてやるから。
じゃあ、
ああ、
お兄ちゃんの恋人にしてほしい。
は？
It came from nowhere, and I said the one thing I shouldn't have. I could tell from the look on her face that this was no joke. What is that word? A pall of anxiety hangs over it, but a tiny ember of hope glimmers in the depths of Sora's vacant eyes. Seeing me at a loss for words, she smiles. Sora calmly meets my gaze.
ずっとね、お兄ちゃんのことが好きだった。小さい頃から、物心ついた頃から好きだった。絶対に言わないつもりだったけど、ずっと隠してきたけど、もういいよね。私が消えたらこの告白もお兄ちゃんは忘れちゃうから。だからいいよね。消える前に最後に思い出をもらっても、夢を叶えても。私お兄ちゃんが好き。ずっと好きだった。だから私を好きじゃなくてもいいから、私を消えちゃう前に私を恋人にしてください。
I'm pinned to the spot, unable to look away from her. I'm so flustered I want to run away. But I can't, because this is a choice. A choice I can't afford to get wrong. Because if I do, Sora will disappear.
お兄ちゃん。
And so, I make my decision. You cannot spring this onto me, bro. Fuck you. I can't not, okay?
わかった。お前の気持ち嬉しいよ。
じゃあ
俺たち今から恋人だ。
A smile steals across her face. a smile full of warmth and reassurance, and above all, happiness. She lets out a long, drawn-out sigh, and then, without a word, she closes her eyes. It's obvious at a glance what she's waiting for, but even knowing, I can't help but hesitate. I told Sora I'd do anything for her sake. I was so desperate to please her that I even agreed to be her boyfriend. But the fact remains, we're siblings. Taking this commitment beyond mere words, truly becoming lovers, it would be wrong. It's a bridge too far. However, I have no choice but to cross it. If I don't, Sora will realize I don't have the guts to keep my promise to her. I'll be letting her down. If I refuse to cross this line with her, then I'm certain she'll... Grown impatient, Sora opens her eyes again. Shit, I waited too long. Sora must have realized I'm hesitating. Honestly, I can't blame her if she decides to just give up here and now. But she gives me one more chance.
その体勢だと辛そうだね。
Another heartbreaking smile. I've got one knee on the table, and both hands on her shoulders. She's not wrong. This would be a pretty uncomfortable position to share a kiss. Sora gently takes my hand off her shoulders and gets to her feet. Standing, she looks down at me and waits. She just stands there silently, waiting for me to join her and take her in my arms. I've got to steel my resolve. I've made my choice. Now I have to own up to the consequences. For Sora's sake.
ムードは作ってやれねえけど。
I try to sound lighthearted as I get to my feet. I circle around the table and stop in front of Sora. She closes her eyes again. The only silver lining is that she can't see how stiff and nervous I look. Was this really the right decision? Trying to shake off my doubts, I put my hand on Sora's slender shoulder. Knowing this game, it probably isn't. And then I lean in, closing the distance to her waiting lips. Finally, our lips touch. It's no mere brush of the lips, but a heated kiss. A lover's kiss, which I guess is what we are. Sora opens her mouth slightly in size, licking my lips. I feel her saliva coating them. I could tell she's waiting for me to take the next step, but that's beyond me. I don't have the courage to press my tongue into her mouth just yet. Sora sees through my hesitation, and so she gives me a little shove. Tense as I am, I stumble backward. Sora gives me an uncharacteristically earnest look. She licks her lips and smiles.
ありがとう。
She then begins taking shuffling steps backward, slowly inching away from me. Until she reaches the bed. She collapses onto it and rolls over.
疲れたから寝るね。
ああ。
おやすみ、お兄ちゃん。
Sora pulls the covers up and turns her back to me. Relief washes over me and I collapse in a heap on the ground. Did I do it? Can I keep her grounded this way? Did I really manage to save her from despair? Will this make her stop wanting to disappear? I want to believe I made the right choice. Sora's faint, regular breathing reaches my ears. She must really have been tired if she fell asleep already. I involuntarily put my finger to my lips. When we kissed, my heart definitely skipped a beat. It was a small thing, but I could feel it. a little thrill, even if it was my own, even if it was my own sister I was kissing. That realization confuses me. This is something I'm doing for Sora. This is my duty. At least that's what I keep telling myself, trying to drown out my lingering guilt. Sora's been asleep since the afternoon. As she slept, her stigma would occasionally rise to the surface of her skin like a pattern of translucent veins. Come to think of it, she's technically been using her powers constantly, hasn't she? Though she hasn't shown it, the exhaustion from doing so must be immense. No wonder she's sleeping so much. I stayed by her side this whole time, worried she might disappear at any moment. In fact, I haven't even gotten up to eat anything. While I watched over her, as she slept, a lot of memories, both old and new, resurfaced. It may have appeared that Sora's confession was about as sudden as they get, but it wasn't entirely unexpected. For a long time now, I've vaguely suspected she was harboring feelings for me. When we were kids, Sora never hesitated to tell me how much she loved me. Even as she grew older and became a little less vocal about her affection, it was still clear that she was attached to me. But it was only a few months before I started living alone that I began to suspect that her feelings for me went past familial love. One day I found a photo album on Sora's desk. In retrospect, I probably shouldn't have flipped through it without permission, but at the time I thought it was just a family album. I wanted to reminisce about old times, so I opened it without thinking. After all, Sora had been taking pictures on all of our family trips. She had even made me come with her to get them all developed. I never suspected it was more than a record of happy family memories. How wrong I was. The album was filled with pictures of me. Every last one of them, a picture of me alone or me with Sora. Some I remembered her taking, others she'd definitely taken without my knowledge. Many were family pictures, but with our parents cropped out, often zoomed in on me. In that album, Sora had preserved only her memories of me. And though I felt guilty at the thought, the sight of it sent a wave of nausea through me. I certainly love Sora, but as family, as my sister. And once I saw that album, I began to suspect that the love Sora felt for me was not the same as mine for her. Her obsession was abnormal and unhealthy. It was wrong. I bet she knew that too. And that was why, ever since she hit puberty, she started burying her feelings. She stopped telling me she loved me. And while on the surface she acted like an ordinary sister, her hidden feelings didn't go away. I'm sure Sora never meant for anyone to find that album. She certainly hadn't intended for me to see it. And frankly, it was my mistake as well, opening it without permission after I saw what was inside. Without permission, after I saw what was inside, though, I decided it would be best to pretend I hadn't and say nothing at all to Sora, so that's what I did. But from that day on, I grew wary of her. I know I'm biased, since we're family, but I really do think Sora's cute. From what I've heard, she gets asked out all the time. However, she's turned down every one of her would-be boyfriends. Once I asked her why she never dated anyone, this was what she told me.
だって理想の人がいるもん。
At the time, I just shrugged those words off. That was before I saw her album. And once I did, I began to wonder, what if the person she likes is me? What if this stops her from ever going out with any other guy? Personally, I thought that was both unhealthy and unnatural. Not a good situation at all. I thought to myself, maybe I was just misunderstanding. If so, great. But if not, if the reason Sora had asked for her own room, was to protect this secret of hers, then this was a real problem. If she was worried about me seeing her album and what it implied, then that meant I should put some distance between us. So when my father asked if I had any interest in living on my own, I said yes without a second thought. And that's how I moved out of the house. A year passed. I thought that if I spent less time with Sora, her taboo feelings would fade. But they didn't. Sora's love for me only continued to grow. She just kept it hidden. The only reason she revealed it to me now is because, as a stigma's erosion progresses, the artifact's user becomes unable to contain their desires. That's what Sophie said. If that's true, it means Sora just became unable to keep her feelings hidden any longer. And that means she's almost at her limit. She's teetering on the brink of disappearing. What choice did I have but to cave into her feelings? What choice did I have but to kiss her? If I hadn't, Sora would have... Sora tosses and turns in her sleep. She still hasn't woken up. Night falls and Sora is still asleep. She's slept the whole day away now. Kujo hasn't messaged me even once in that time. Though, even if she did message, it's not like I could use my phone right now, so I wouldn't be able to reply. I bet everyone's forgotten about us already. Or maybe the truth is we've disappeared, and I just haven't realized it. Maybe we're the only two people who can see each other now. The fear that that's already happened starts to grow within me. But I know we still haven't disappeared. Sora's still here. She's still alive. I'm worried that she's been sleeping for too long, but at least in her dreams, she won't be dwelling on her despair. Maybe it's even for the best that she sleeps as much as she can. The day is almost over. It shouldn't be long now until Sophie completes the medicine that can cure her. I'm planning on staying awake until she finally does show up. I have no idea how long it might take, but I'm not sleeping. That said, I should probably at least turn off the lights so Sora can sleep soundly. Seriously, I should have done that hours ago. I can't believe I'm so thoughtless. I get up and flip the switch. A moment later, Sora stirs.
寝るの？
悪い。起こしちゃったか。
うん。ずっと寝たり起きたりしてたから。
なんだ。そうだったのか。
ずっとそばにいてくれてありがとう。
それくらいしかできないからな。
もっとそばに来てほしい。
ああ。いいよ。
I sit down next to the bed and hold Sora's hand like I used to when we were young.
ずっとこうしててやる。
違う。
Pouting, Sora yanks my hand forward. She then lifts the covers.
来て。
She wants to sleep together. In other words, I can't refuse her. Sora scoots over to the edge, making room for me. I clamber onto the bed and lie down. The moment I'm settled, Sora wraps her arms around me.
一緒に寝るの久しぶりだね、
そうだな。何年ぶりかな。
お兄ちゃん。
Sora leans in. We share a kiss. After a few seconds, Sora pulls away and sighs.
夢みたい。お兄ちゃんとキスしちゃってる。
夢じゃない。
もう一回してもいい？
あ、
おやすみ、お兄ちゃん。
おやすみ。空。
Sora closes her eyes, her arms still around me. I stroke her hair and let myself relax as well. We actually kissed. We did something we can never take back. But I don't mind. As long as I can keep Sora happy, I don't care about anything else. At least that way she...
ごめんね、お兄ちゃん。いつも迷惑かけてごめんなさい。いつもわがままばかり言って困らせてごめんなさい。でもこれで最後だからごめんね、お兄ちゃん。ごめんなさい。ありがとう。
かける
When I wake up, my mind is foggy. The distinctive plushy outline of Sophie enters my blurry vision. What time is it? 2 in the morning.
なんだよ、こんな深夜に。
なんだよじゃないでしょ。アンブロシアが完成したから持ってきてあげたの。
何？
寝起きの悪い男ね。空はどこ？
空って？
あなた、大丈夫？
I jumped on my feet. I remember now. The ambrosia. Sora.
完成したんだな。
ちょっとあなた！
なんだよ。
下半身丸出しじゃないの。
悪い。
I hurriedly pulled my underwear and pants back on. Why the hell did I take them off?
まったくもう。空は？
え？
どこにいるの？
どこって。
I turned back to the bed, but Sora is
Eh?
not there. She's not on the bed.
空！
I shout her name, but there's no reply. Fuck. I scramble to my bed and turn on the lights. I run into the living room. Then I check the bathroom, but she's not there. She's not here. She's not anywhere. Sora's not here. It's only when I look at the entrance that I realize Sora's shoes are gone. I run back to my living room. I start turning the whole place inside out. It's not here. Sora's bag isn't here.
空がいない。
出て行ったみたいね。
出て。どうして？
失敗したわね、かける。
え？
あなたさっきまで空のこと忘れていたでしょ。
忘れ。いや、ただぼーっとして。
違う。寝ぼけていたんじゃない。あなたは忘れてしまっていた。空のこと。あの子、一人で消えることを選んだみたいね。
そんなはずは。そんなこと言うなよ！
Growing hysterical, I pick up my phone. I quickly unlock it and start flipping through my contact list. It's only when I'm about to press the call button that I realize
操作できる。
Sora's powers aren't affecting me anymore. But then she must have regained control of them, right? That has to be it, right? And again, I press the call button, and the phone begins to ring. Ring ring.
空、出ろ。早く、空、
Ring ring.
空、
Ring ring.
出ろ。出ろ、出てくれ。空、出ろ。
Ring ring.
出ないわよ。あの子はもうあなたの声には応えられない。
言うなって言っただろ。
Still holding the ringing phone in my hands, I run toward the door. Wait for me, Sora. I'll be right there. I'll save you. I won't let you disappear alone. I swear it. I put on my shoes and unlock the door. I'm on my way, Sora. I grab the doorknob. I'll be right there. Just give me a minute. I
なんだっけ。
I stiffen up. My hand's still on the doorknob. It feels like something just vanished. There's this vague feeling that something's missing. But I can't tell what it is. All that's left is a keen sense of loss. What?
今、何しようとしてたっけ。ソフィー、俺、何を。
I turn around. Sophie watches me expressionlessly. She just hovers there, looking at me quietly.
間に合わなかったわね。あなたはもう決して思い出せないあの子のことを。決して。
あの子。
I don't understand. But I get the feeling she was precious to me. In fact, she was the most important person in the world. She was... Who was she? She's vanishing. No matter how hard I try to remember, I can't. She's disappearing. As every trace of her vanishes, I lose my treasured memories. I swore I'd never forget her. She's the most important thing in the world to me, and yet my memories of her are fading away. Stop this. Please, don't go. These memories are too precious to lose. I can't remember them, but I know how dear they are to me. Please, don't disappear. Please, stop. Anything but this.
やめてくれ。
さようなら、お兄ちゃん。
Fuck, man. I fucking knew that was the... It was definitely a unique way to approach an incest route. Look, I guess that's the vibe of this game, right? Because throughout the entire game, I was wondering how they would have tackled an incest route, because I could never imagine Kakeru and Sora actually getting together, right? Sora obviously liking Kakeru, right? That one was obvious, but Kakeru liking Sora, I couldn't see that. And I mean, the fact that they were actually blood related, right? That's something that they didn't need to that's something they didn't censor. But then again, I think it's fairly obvious what happened. The Patreon probably the Patreon's probably saw a hate scene at what with what happened, considering he lost his pants. Well, I guess there's only one thing to do, isn't there?